Since its early editions, amateur qualifiers have been held for the PDC UK Open at venues around the UK. This makes the PDC Major unique, as anybody can turn up to one of the single-day events and secure their place in a televised ranking premier event. For many of the years in which amateur qualifiers have been held, the Riley's sports bar chain have hosted qualifying tournaments at several of their venues in the UK. These qualifiers allowed Rob Cross to make his PDC Major debut in 2016, just a few years before he became the world champion. In 2017, Paul Hogan came through one of the qualifiers and went on to beat both Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis in the main event. In recent years, players like Jelle Clausen, Fallon Sherrock and Callan Rids have used the qualifiers to appear in the tournament at Butlins Minehead. In 2021, these Riley's tournaments were not held due to the COVID-19 pandemic, with the amateur qualification spots being available for the top players from Q School who didn't win a tour card. However, the Riley's qualifiers returned in 2022, and the Norwich location was selected to host 2 tournaments in February. The venues are not fully dedicated to darts, and the entry fee is just £10, so the setups are very amateur, and what you would expect of a pub or a sports bar. However, at the first Norwich qualifier, there were many issues which you wouldn't expect at a PDC-sanctioned tournament. There were several big issues at the event, which saw 152 players enter and try to claim the golden ticket to the UK Open. 3 of the boards had no fixed oki, with some of the players having to throw during their match from a duct tape line which was not even laid out perfectly straight. On some of the practice boards, a makeshift oki was made using pool cues that were taped to the floor. In addition, the lift at the venue did not work on the day. Surprisingly, this was not even the biggest issue at the venue. The main issue was with the toilets, with the women's toilet taped off and not even open. The toilets and taps in the women's toilets were blocked, and as a result, there was a very long wait for the disabled toilets, which the women were having to use instead. The men's toilet, which was open, was a disgrace, with urine flowing onto the carpet outside and covering the floor, which meant that stools were used to climb over areas. The sinks were also blocked, and the urinal was blocked and filled with urine. One player stated that the toilets were blocked for the full day, and that he felt the event should have been called off as it was a health hazard. It was also stated that a girl had to stand in the men's toilet and scoop out the urinals, which were described as having an overflow problem for years. The venue also ran out of board pens, which were used by the markers instead of iPads. Owen Binks, who was the PDC official running the event, was given lots of praise for running the tournament well and dealing with the abuse he received for something that was not his fault. The bar staff were also praised, whilst the blame was placed on the management and the PDC for not conducting a proper inspection before the event. Despite some poor conditions, some great darts were thrown. A 9-darter was hit in the event by Matt Good, who went on to win the event and qualify for the UK Open.
Get in! Get in!
Riley's released a statement saying that they were aware of the issues and wanted to assure customers that it was not standard practice, and it was dealt with. They apologized for any inconvenience caused and thanked the players. The carpet, toilets and okis were fixed for the second Norwich qualifier, which took place in the following week, showing that both Riley's and the PDC did a good job. Matt Good, who qualified during the week with poor conditions, drew Keelan Kay in the first round of the UK Open and lost in a last-leg decider. Good spoke about the poor conditions, his 9-darter and win on the weekly darts cast.
And we
saw on social media the comments about the venue. How off-putting was it for you? Because from the outside looking in, you had a 9 darter, you won the day. It didn't look like it fazed you at all.
Yeah, the venue was a put-off. Obviously, you had the toilets. But other than that, obviously, you had ockies missing on the certain boards. But luckily for me, on all of my games, I played on an ockie, which was good. Going through rounds by rounds, I was just getting better, stronger. Until obviously, I think that was the last 16, I managed to hit the 9 darter, which obviously meant a lot. I didn't celebrate big. Reason for it was I just wanted to keep me cool, go on and win that game, and go on and win the tournament.
Yeah, got to mention that 9 darter. Have you had a 9 darter in a match before? Come close to it in one before?
No, that was my first 9 darter I've actually had in a competition or in a local pub, to be honest. My first one come at home just on the practice board against my dad. That's the first time I've ever hit one. I've missed double 12 several times for it, but that's the last bit you fall short on.
So what was that feeling like? You get the 9 darter, the first one you've hit in a proper competition, and as you say, you tried to keep your cool and finish the game and go on and win the whole thing. How did you do that?
Well, the adrenaline in me was just getting high. I thought, no, keep your cool, Matt. Just give it a little fist pump to me mates, and go on and win it. That's what I wanted. Because I thought, coming off winning that last 16, I thought, just keep your cool, go on and win. And that meant a lot. Once I won the final, that just meant a lot.
Yeah, as you say, you go all the way, you win the final, you book your spot at Minehead at the UK Open for the first time. What was that moment like when you won the final and you had secured that debut?
It was fantastic. I was absolute buzzing. I was buzzing for it. I thought, yes, now's the time. I can go onwards and upwards from here.
Excellent. Well, we saw a lot more positive feedback for Riley's Norwich because they had that qualifier yesterday, the second one. But did you consider taking the snooker rest that was used for one of the Ockies last weekend home as a memento?
Well, obviously, throughout that, all I got was I got offered the Blade 6 dartboard. Owen Binks, former PDC caller, chalker, he come up to me, congratulated me. Everyone did, but everyone was buzzing.